welcome to Sirens Studios preview number 1. Today we had some big news that we found out a couple days ago about the Xbox One and the PS4. I almost messed that up.
You got it right.
So we're here today to talk a little bit about what is happening and what's going on, and we're aware that all of you guys are really interested in what the news is going on. So let's begin. We were talking yesterday a little bit more about what was happening and everything.
I got heated.
It did get heated. However, we're not enemies against each other or anything. You're not for like the Xbox One or anything specific, so we don't fight that much. Even with Janet, we don't fight that much with Janet either. We're both for the PS4, but we found out that recently the Xbox One is they released their release date.
They're going to be releasing a week before PlayStation 4 worldwide.
Now, we had an issue with that only because, that seems so tricky. It just does not seem like a good tactic.
What it seems to me is... I'm sorry, I'm being distracted because that cloud looks like a snake breathing fire. It's really funny. Sorry.
Okay.
It's just... I feel like it's a very ballsy move, but they can't handle it right now.
I don't think they can. I think they're fucked either way. I think that they're fucked either way only because they're doomed if they don't, and they're doomed if they do. Because if they wait a couple years or they wait like a year to really get their shit together, PS4 is going to blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
But I think I know what their tactic is, trying to do it like a week before, because they're probably saying, hey, they're going to spend all their money on this on our console, then they're not going to be able to spend the money on the PS4.
Yeah.
But I think that when the time comes and people get the money again,
when it comes down to it,
PS4
it's not
is
going to benefit
sell
them
out again. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Both consoles had really great outcomes. For the pre-orders, they both sold out within days. That's excellent. But what has been happening lately with Microsoft just isn't good. They're just not ready. They're just not ready.
What I was telling you yesterday while we were talking is that they have the tendency to put everything they have out on the table for everyone to see.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not necessarily a smart move when you highlight your mistakes, which is what they have been doing.
It's really not. I think that PS4 announcements are much more...
They're much more held back is what it is.
They are, because Sony knows, and I think it's because Sony's been in this game for so long. Microsoft just came in, and Microsoft is trying to jump the gun. And yes, they want to set this new goal for the future, and they're like, this is going to be the new future. But what bothers me the most is that they're trying to do it with TV. Now remember, boxes for cable and for satellite, they didn't come out.
It's more around for maybe 8 years at most.
Video games are older than the boxes. That's what drives me nuts. They're older than the boxes, so why would you try to change that when we just had it implemented? Remember, 4 years seems like a long time, but it's really not when it comes to technology. Yeah. It's really not. And, boxes are getting updated like every other year now, so it's even becoming bigger and bigger. Now, it was a very ballsy move for them to, do what they did, but I just think that it was too much.
Yeah,
hello, dog.
For the general public, I think we're moving too quickly, because unfortunately, when it comes to everyone, you really do have to dumb things down, slow things down.
Of course.
To get to everyone.
Because technology is such a big thing. We just discovered it. Even now, even with video games, they're saying, well, video games really aren't that old. 20 years, you say it and you're like, wow, it's such a long time. It's really not. It's incredible how much we've improved on these video games from this year to this year, and it's really crazy. Please excuse that dog in the background.
It's not getting murdered, I promise.
But I think that the big problem is that they try to jump the gun, and I think that people complain. People are like, I don't want to deal with the TV when I just want to play video games. That's what a gaming console's for. It's not for watching
And
TV.
don't get me wrong, I know the PlayStation 4 has its faults. It has
Yeah, of
its
course.
bumps along the way,
Of
but
course.
when it comes to like letting their customers know, it's necessary to let them know to a certain extent, but I think Sony's doing it right when it comes to marketing. And when it comes to really
Yes.
sales.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had listened to another type of discussion. I can't name names, but I did listen to another type of discussion, and they were saying how Sony is much more discreet with the technological part of it. They say something, but they don't tell you what is really happening, and I think that was happening with Microsoft with the mobile device being able to download a game and then it'll go directly to your PS4, Xbox One if it's if
once
it's
it's
on.
done, it'll go to sleep.
But that's what Sony did. They said, oh, it'll go to sleep afterwards. Now what I'm thinking is that it's
It'll
not
just
going
shut
to
down.
take so
Yeah.
much power. But what I'm hearing with Xbox One when they use that what did they use, that energy saver kind of thing?
I'm not sure what it's called.
Something like that. But they said the technological part of it, and now I'm thinking, well, it's going to use so much power. I mean, that's just how the human mind thinks. It's keywords, and I think Sony knows how to place
It gets
those
us
keywords.
overthinking, and that's not always the best.
It's not. I know that you're really excited about the new hardware, but when it comes down to it, you have to be really discreet. with
Like,
the
I
general
personally, I
public.
think it's cool to hear about how the engineering comes into it.
Mhm.
But not everyone wants that. They just want to know, is it going to work? Yes or no?
Apparently the 360 was allowed to do this already, and I didn't know that. And that's another issue with Microsoft, where they don't give us hints. Sony gives us hints as
Right.
to what's going to happen, so the human mind is always curious.
They'll tease us, but
Exactly.
unfortunately Microsoft doesn't tease us at all.
Microsoft
So-
will either tell us all of it or won't tell us enough, and
Exactly.
they'll keep it under wraps, and that way nobody really knows that it actually happens. So when they say, you could always do that, people are like, well, what? I didn't know. Nobody gave us a hint. Sony will always let you figure it out, and I don't think Microsoft will. And
No, I'm really interested because obviously Microsoft has been doing something right if they've helped the Xbox become this big.
yeah.
Um,
Don't get me wrong. I would have been, on board with some people where they want to get both consoles. I would have been so excited for it. But
if
Microsoft
I had
fucked
the
up.
money, I would go ahead and
I
just
would,
get them.
but Microsoft fucked up for me because they had done that.
Oh, getting on board with-
well, they totally screwed it up with me because they just announced too much about the hardware, and then they were talking about TV and shit. And let me tell you, it costs money to hook up the Xbox One to your TV box, so I don't have that kind of money. Number one, after I'm gonna spend however much that friggin' box is gonna be, and I just don't have the patience to deal with the TV. Now, I just want to use the friggin' thing for gaming. But they're just too much on something else. If you wanted it to make it all about TV, then make your own TV station, TV company, and then people will buy like crazy. Go for it. But don't try to make a gaming console all about TV. It just bugs me that they did that.
It's not even that they're making it all about it. They just showcased it.
They showcased
a lot.
it really wrong.
So
they're also just. Also, what bothers me is that Sony is sure of what they're going to bring out. Yes, they're tweaking it, but they're sure about what they're going to bring
that's
out.
another part of it.
They're
They're tweaking. I'm
confident.
sure they're tweaking it a lot, but they're
Yeah.
not letting us know.
But they're
as
confident.
much.
But they also have that. Whenever they're announcing something that they're tweaking, they're confident about it. They're like, yes, this is gonna be okay.
I think that has Microsoft on their toes.
Microsoft just isn't confident. Microsoft is fumbling. Microsoft is like that kid that you see in the hallway that's a freshman and he has all his books, but then he fumbles over and he's like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? They're like that. And then, Sony is just the cool senior that has it all together. This is the best analogy I could come up with. But Microsoft is fumbling all over the fucking place because they're losing people. People are quitting. People are getting fired. They're getting rid of people. I mean,
because they're rushing in to get that head start on the PlayStation 4, but they're not really ready for
That's
it.
another reason, though. Sony's also taking their time. Microsoft is not. Microsoft is like, rush. We need to get this to people. Sony's like,
And I can understand
take
it
easy.
from a business point. Like, yes, I'd want to get my system out as soon as possible, but they have to be very careful as to how they rush through things. You can rush through things, but you
I
have
don't
to be
know if
careful
I would
about it.
want to be like that. I don't know if I would be totally rushed. I think I would just be more like, yeah, it's important to get it out, but if you're not going to do it right, what's the point of rushing?
Yeah.
That's the whole issue I have with the Xbox One right now. Microsoft is just really not doing a good job, which shows me that they didn't learn anything. Like, they already had issues with 360, and I'm not talking about the red ring situation. I'm talking about the original dashboard. Think about all the updates Microsoft had to do because it was taking so long to load with the stupid original dashboard. It took so long to load. Then they had to do an update to fix the dashboard, and then they had to do more updates, to tweak it a little. But here, Sony is just doing random updates just to keep the software going on the PS3. What am I gonna prefer? Am I gonna want to deal with 1,000 updates from freaking Microsoft for the Xbox 360, or am I gonna have to just want to go through an hour of an update for the PS3 and then be able to play my games? I'm gonna go with the freaking PS3.
I know some people though they don't like how long the PlayStation updates last, so they just prefer those very numerous sessions of short updates.
I guess
it comes down to the person.
Definitely, but I just feel that whenever I'm on a 360, I haven't turned my 360 on for months because now I learned that Minecraft is going to be going on the PS3, so now I'm never going to turn that thing on. I'm never going to turn it on. But that was the only reason, and then when I switched to the computer version, I kind of just didn't go on anymore. Now I don't turn it on because I feel whenever I'm on a 360 dashboard or something, I feel like it's just so trivial. I feel like it's not fluid, I guess I can say. Like when
Unfortunately, I don't have the experience. I've never really played an Xbox avidly.
I don't know. I mean, the games look the games look the same as Sony. Maybe some games are a little bit more tweaked on Sony because the PS3 has different setup. But I don't know. Whenever I'm on my PS3, it's turn it on, get up, and go. And I can go on a YouTube, I can go on a Netflix, and it doesn't take that long to load or anything. Yeah, there's been crashes, but that's more of the other companies and not Sony. But when I'm on the 360, I gotta wait for it to turn on, do its little intro. I don't know if maybe it's because it's my perception of how I feel about these consoles, but whenever I'm on the 360, it takes me forever. I feel so trivial on that 360. I'm
because,
I can't take this.
I know Janet, she's back there. I know she's very comfortable with the Xbox, and she prefers it over the PS3.
Yeah, because she's used it. Maybe it's because I've used my PS3 more often. I don't know. I've always had bad history with the 360 though. Like, I know that I can't watch my Netflix on the 360 because I have to have a gold membership. Okay, I'm already paying for Netflix. I don't want to pay for a gold membership.
Though unfortunately, I think once these next gen consoles are coming out, that's gonna have to happen regardless. For a lot of features that we have now with no membership, we're gonna have to get a membership.
I don't know. I don't think. I know that you have to get PlayStation Plus for that for the wireless connecting. Yeah. But I mean, if you don't want the wireless connecting, I'm not going to use it for anything. So I'm not going to need it.
But I do. So I guess it does affect me.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to the person.
But I mean, I don't think that there's any news on having to get a PlayStation Plus membership just for those extra stuff. But for Microsoft, you're still going to need it. You're still going to need gold for it. But that's what upsets me. Like, I can't do anything on my 360 without having a gold membership. It barely connects to the internet as it is, and I've had bad luck, all the way through. And I would have been really excited to get that Xbox One, but they just.
I might give it a try, but later on, for sure. I'm aiming towards PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be opposed to giving Xbox One a try.
I would be willing. I mean, the whole setup of the dashboard looks really cool. So I mean, that's pretty cool. But I don't know.
I'm excited to see when those weeks in November comes by. I'm excited to see what happens. That's gonna be all-out war, and I want to see how it turns out.
And unfortunately, it shouldn't be like that, though. I mean, people should be. We're gamers regardless. Hell, we even have arguments over what's a gamer and what isn't. But fuck, man, if you have the console, if you know your console, if you play the games and you enjoy the games, you're a gamer. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just really interested to see the sale-wise, see what does better.
Me personally, I think that they're gonna do equal.
Maybe just about.
I think that they're gonna do equal.
Though they always have. They've been head to head.
Yeah, they have been. They're like Atari and not Atari. They're like Nintendo and Sega right now. They're the Nintendo and Sega of our time. You know, I don't know.
Which one's Sega?
Huh?
Nothing.
Now I know what you said.
Oh, God.
Sorry, that kicked in really late. I can't tell you which one is Sega. I can't. That's just gonna have to be for
We'll have to find
a
out.
later time. Yeah. I mean, neither one is Sega, but right now, as it is, it's like Nintendo and Sega at it. And you know, I don't know. I just think that the Xbox One had a really bumpy start. I think that they didn't go in right, and they should know. They should know that. You know, they should know how to deal with this. They've already had their 360 and everything. I mean, they should already know that this is how the game goes. You gotta play it. And I think that Sony just has that upper hand because they've had so many consoles now. I mean, they've had their 2 consoles. They know it. They've been in it from the beginning.
So, all in all, we'll just have to see how everything turns out.
So far, for our thoughts on the matter, I just think that time is going to tell. I think everyone really knows that by now, that time is really just going to tell. But I think that it's going to come down to what the gamers really enjoy, and that's their video games. And how is one video game going to work, on one console, and how is it going to work on the other? And I think that's how people are going to really gauge it. And I think that's really how we feel right now. It's just going to have to...
And those first few months that it's out, it's so crucial to see how everything's going to go.
Especially if there's going to be like a blip like the Red Ring.
Yeah. We'll just have to see if... Hopefully not,
Hopefully. I'm praying not. I feel
Because
that
I don't want to
there's
see
gonna be-
either company do bad.
No, neither do I. I'm not a fan of Microsoft. I used to be, but I just had bad history with it. So, I'm not a fan, but, they made their decent games and their decent consoles. So I just feel it's going to be a wait and see kind of game. But, hey, only time will tell. So, I guess that's it for us. But, don't forget to comment on what you think about this whole preview, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. We have weekly updates every weekend, or so we try. If you don't want to stay on YouTube, we also have a Tumblr, and we post all our links and all our updates there as well. So we'll see you guys later. Keep it real. I'm out.